Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a review on the new Dior BACKSTAGE Collection, particularly the foundation I've been really interested to try. If you guys watch my channel, you know I'm a huge fan of Dior foundation. If I were to pick one brand for best foundation for my skin, it would be Dior. I'm in love with two of their other foundations, which I also have foundation reviews for. I will link those foundation reviews in the video and in the description box in case you're curious as to those. But I wanted to do a full wear test on this foundation along with just showing you how it applies, a demo, in addition to the contour palette and the glow face palette, which I recently hauled from Sephora. So I will also have a Sephora haul up for you guys. So that will either be up before or after this video, but I was so interested to try this foundation. I know a lot of people have been giving it rave reviews, so that made me even more interested. So I want to see if it's worth the hype to me, if it compares to other Dior foundations, because I love Dior foundation. So I picked up the shade 3N, which is 3 neutral, and it's a pretty good match for me right now. If you're similar in coloring to me, this is more of a faded tan color for me. This is what the packaging looks like. I absolutely love the bottle. It's a squeezy tube. There's quite a bit of product in this. It's 50 milliliters or 1.6 fluid ounces, which is more than the standard 1 ounce, which is awesome. So I'm just going to pour this on my hand. It is a face and body foundation, but I will only be applying it to my face today. And there's 3 preferred ways to apply this. You can apply it with your fingers for a more light coverage, a flat top brush for medium, or a domed brush like this with buffing motions for a more full coverage, which is what I'll be doing today. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the product. And this is a Makeup Geek Face Buffer Brush, one of my favorite foundation brushes. Very similar to the IT Cosmetics brush that I always talk about, that dual-ended one, in case you're curious. This is a more affordable option. It just doesn't have the dual end on it. As you can see right away, has amazing coverage, looks very skin-like. This isn't a first impression, by the way. I always do that. This isn't a first impression, by the way. I've been using this over a week at this point. I really wanted to try it out for you guys and find what best way I like it. I don't have any primer on either, just because I wanted to do a full wear test with the foundation as is. And that's one side buffed in. Looks so good. We're starting this foundation review at 2 o'clock, which is a little bit later, well, a lot later than I typically start wear tests. But I'm going to a concert tonight, and I thought it would be perfect because this is supposed to be sweat resistant and waterproof. It might in fact rain tonight, and the concert's in Toronto, so I might get a little bit wet as well. And normally concerts that I go to end at around 11. This one doesn't start till 12:30, which is insane. I'm going to see Busta Rhymes and Lil' Kim, and I've never seen them before, so I'm really excited to see them perform. But it's very late. Doors don't open until 10:30, and the concert doesn't start till 12:30, so it's gonna be a late night. So this is supposed to be a natural matte finish, and it most definitely is. It just initially applies very liquidy, and it has to dry it down. So you can see that it looks quite dewy right now, but it will dry down to a matte finish. Beautiful natural matte finish. So before it fully dries down, I'm just gonna go off camera and do my concealer, and then I'll come back and do contour and the face palette for you guys. For my concealer, I just used the new Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. This is the best concealer for this foundation that I've tried. It just works perfectly with the formula. So I've been really loving that one with this. And now I'm going to be using the Dior BACKSTAGE Contour Palette. And I love the size of these. Beautiful packaging as well. And I've been using that highlight color just to brighten up my under eye, taking a sponge. And I like doing this just to lightly set on days that I don't bake. Looks beautiful. I'm going to be using these 2 colors right there just to bronze up my skin and combine. This almost looks like a more luminous version of the Marc Jacobs Tantastic. This color on its own, which is more matte, is definitely more gray and more of a contour. But when you add that color to it, it makes it a beautiful, not shimmery, but definitely has more of a glow, closer to that of the Marc Jacobs, which is more matte, so a more glowy version. It's really pretty. Then if you went too crazy with the contour bronzing, like I always do, I just like to go over it, really press it into the skin. Just gonna take that highlight shade again, clean up the contour. Then taking only this shade right here, we're going to contour the nose. The only thing missing in these palettes is a mirror. I do like that you can see through it. I think it's pretty. For practical reasons, I want to look at this right now to contour my nose, but I have to go and find something with a mirror. Then to help with the nose contour, just taking that highlight again. I'm just gonna let that sit there for a second and I can blend it away after. I am going to bake my nose a little bit with the KKW powder in 3. I'm also going to use this contour palette on my eyes, which I've been really enjoying. It's the perfect shades to contour my lid space. Most days I don't like to use eyeshadow, I just like to use my bronzer or contour. And this has multiple shades that you can get a really pretty soft everyday kind of look. So I'm going to start off with that shimmery shade. Just has a little bit of shimmer, not too much. I'm just going to lightly put that through the crease. Then taking this shade, I'm just going to start to deepen things up. So if you can't tell already, obviously really like this. I think it wears beautifully, it doesn't fade. It's great to contour, but adding a little bit of that shade for me makes it suitable for a bronzer as well. And this one's a little too dark for me, but I can definitely use this as an eyeshadow, which I like. I can't get over though how that Too Faced concealer looks with this foundation. My kids are playing outside if you can hear them. We're gonna be staying at Grandma and Grandpa's tonight. That first brush was a Smith 232, and then I'm going to be using a 230 with that dark shade just on the outer corner. I'm taking another fluffy brush, which is a Morphe M441, and that highlight shade. Just want to clean up the lid space ever so slightly. Now I'm just going to pop off camera, brush off this bake, put on some mascara and lashes, and then we'll be back to finish off the rest of the face. Now I'm going to be using the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette. I've been dying to use this on camera. I couldn't wait to show you guys. It's so pretty. Initially, I thought I was only going to use these top 2 shades, but I really like all of the colors in here. This one can be a little too light on me, so I'm just going to go ahead with the gold for now and see if we need to brighten things up. Again, I want to use a mirror, but it doesn't have one. Find this highlight looks best when buffed into the skin. It's very, very intense. Then for my cheeks, I'm just going to take a little bit of that pink shade and do just a glowy cheek. And then for my inner corner, I'm going to take that white shade, just pop it on. This is the completed look. I'm going to take you guys throughout the day, vlog style, to show you how everything holds up and wears. We have a long way to go. So I need this to hold up for me all night. It cannot fade or budge because my concert isn't for a long time. And hopefully I can stay awake that long. That's the real test. Can I stay awake? This says it's tested and approved by 100% of Dior makeup artists, ultra buildable coverage, second skin finish, which it truly is. It honestly feels like nothing on the skin. It says 95% of women agree that it has a photo ready finish, so we're going to test that. And it's extreme condition proof, which it better be tonight. The flash test turned out really good. I don't see any issue with flashback. I feel like it looks really smooth and nice. I don't have a filter on this camera. It's the Canon G7X, which I will also be taking around for vlogging. So I'm going to do some close-ups of the foundation, how it looks like right now, and I'll be checking back with you guys in a few hours. We're not focusing. Right now we're in Toronto. We just had some drinks and food. It's raining right now. So we're testing out this foundation in the rain. Okay, so now it's starting to rain harder and I'm still not focused. So how is my foundation looking? Foundation?
Fabulous, darling. Fabulous. Intact.
Intact so far. You look so tired. Go back to sleep. Hey guys, I'm back. The foundation has been on 13 hours. This is my second 13-hour wear test. I showed you when I went to Toronto how it wore throughout the day, and I didn't have any issue with it. It actually reacted beautifully to water. And I never use Fix Plus to set my face, but I do find this foundation particularly needs a little bit of moisture for me because it can look a little bit dry, which it did today, slightly on my face, only after a certain amount of time, plus looked a little bit cakey around my nose. And I wanted to show you a separate wear test at the end, like today, to show you the issue I was having with the foundation wearing off around my mouth. And that happens due to whatever lip gloss I'm wearing or eating. And I've only ever had that issue with the Fenty Beauty foundation, which is so weird because when I was first trying out the Dior Backstage, like, this reminds me of something. It looks exactly like something on my skin and I couldn't place it. And then as soon as I had that issue, a light bulb went off. I'm like, this works very much like the Fenty Beauty for me. They're both a natural matte finish, 40 shades. They look very similar on my skin. Not saying that they're the same formula or anything. They just perform very, very similarly and even have the same issues. All in all, Fenty is one of my favorites and I can wear it with dry skin. I feel like if you like the Fenty, you probably really like the Dior, so I would 100% check it out if you like Fenty. And if you didn't like the Fenty, you might have the same issue with the Dior. Just based on my skin and my experience with it, I would 100% recommend at least getting a sample, just because a lot of days I have perfect wear, even after 13 hours. The day in Toronto, I didn't have any of that mouth issue. It's just today. I have a close-up for you to see exactly what I meant about the patches that came off just from where I was eating. I had a really big one on the one side of my face. I ate corn on the cob today, which I don't eat every day, obviously, so that's not gonna happen, but the lip gloss issue I definitely had a problem with. Other than that, it wears beautifully. It looks beautiful on the skin, and if you are very dry, you might find it a little too matte. Just like if you found the Fenty, that is my only issue for maybe those with very, very dry skin. I would definitely get a sample. Otherwise, I feel like it's gonna work for most people. And in terms of the palettes, they wear beautifully on the face. They just look so good. They don't go patchy. They stay on the foundation. They hold their pigment and color. It looks exactly the same, the palettes. And I know this glow palette is very, very popular. It's been sold out a few times at Sephora when I've checked. And I feel like you could probably dupe these shades. Just how these look like on the skin, I do feel like you don't necessarily need it. It is beautiful. I'm glad I was able to pick it up. I don't think it's a must, even though everyone's raving about that one. And this contour palette didn't get as great of a review as some of the other products in the Backstage collection. However, this is probably my second favorite thing next to that foundation is this. This is gonna be my go-to contour palette. I love it. I love every single shade in here. I love how the highlight looks like under my eyes, how the powders look like on my face and stay pigmented, the tones of them, how they work for eyeshadows. It's honestly my perfect everyday palette. So I 100% recommend this. So that is everything I wanted to say. I did want to do a final update, but I wanted to do it after I wore it again, just another wear test, because I really wanted to show you guys what I meant about the product coming off around my mouth, just because that's happened probably more often than not for days, and I'm not sure why it didn't happen when I was in Toronto, but it didn't. And I've just been so happy with it. So definitely check it out, at least get a sample. If you like the other Dior foundations, let me show you the ones I've reviewed. If you like the Undercover and the Forever, it's like those ones had a baby. I don't think it's quite as matte as this or full coverage. You can build it up, and it has more product than these two. Plus looks beautiful on the skin, just like these ones. I feel like Dior just works for my skin. So if you've had success with either of these two, I would definitely recommend checking this one out and seeing if you like it more, because there is more product in here. And I feel like you can make it look even more natural, plus you can build it up. It's just a very beautiful formula, and I highly, highly recommend checking it out. So that's my review for the Dior Backstage collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video showcasing the products that I picked up and whether I think they're worth it or not. I love all three products. It just depends on what you need in your collection. I know for me, highlighters, after a while, it's like, do you really need more? Not necessarily. The foundation is beautiful, and I really think you guys would probably like the contour palette as well. If you like similar things to me and use them as eyeshadows, I'm gonna get so much use out of that. I think I'm gonna actually hit pan. That's gonna be my go-to everyday thing. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going on and on about this, and I need to end it because it's going on like 14 hours of wear right now. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.